Today, I'm going to talk about NoCell and its outreach in sub-Saharan Africa. I think I probably will read the slides out. It'll be easier. So, how do we go back? Yeah, so I'll start with the current education system in the region, in Africa. Okay, so I'll talk about current education systems, sub-Saharan Africa. And what we have here, there are only two routes to education, either a private or a government school. The latter is oversubscribed, and the required entrance marks for the universities are set very high. This is a fact. So only students with exceptionally high grades get to go on to university. For example, only about 25% of science students get a place at the oversubscribed government universities. The rest, which makes up the 75%, are from arts and humanity. Spacey subjects such as astrobiology, astrophysics, and astrochemistry are chosen even less than regular science subjects, as in biology, chemistry, and physics, because of lack of jobs in the countries, these countries. So what Africans have to say on astroscience? So if you look at number 4 and 5, no astroscience courses are available, and these are in, by the way, I sometimes can't read my own writing. It's something to do with dyslexics, getting to work now. There is a general lack of continuity throughout the education system. That was given by one of the attendees to the conference earlier this year. And there are, in number 5, there are inadequate science employment opportunities available on the continent itself. That was another input from the Africans. And of course, we generated a report called NoCell's Astroscience Exploration Network Outreach in Africa, and it is awaiting publication currently. So I can't, well, I can send you the copy as it is, but I can't send you the published copy. And if you want that, you can write to me later on and find out. And these are some of the people that gave the input during the April conference first, us in conference first one we did in April. And the reason behind it is to do with this. Religion is a big issue and a big business in Africa all over. It obfuscates and hinders even the basic education. It sends out mixed messages about subject matters such as astrobiology, astrochemistry, and astrophysics. And so it is incumbent upon us all as scientists to counter such perils by pushing forward education, education, education. That's our duty in the world, modern world. So here's to the future with NoCell. This is what NoCell is doing. Delivering workshops and oral presentation. We have been active in Africa since 2015 and have been publishing articles about education in Africa. And of course, We've also done Go Astro Lab workshop at Copperbelt University, Kitwe in Zambia. That was in 2018. And then we also held that photograph seems to have moved actually. Also held workshop, a students open. I forget the word actually. Open. It's like a workshop for the students actually. All those people are students, and that was at the Chancellor College in Zomba, Malawi. That was in 2015. I apologize for the hesitation in the previous section. So the last one being Astrolab workshop, that was at National University of Science and Technology in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe in 2019. So proof of the pudding is there that we have been active over there. And wants and needs. Let me say something now. You know, you can see there are CEO people all over, eager to learn, you know. And you imagine trying to teach 100 to 200 people at a time. I just couldn't manage it actually, because there was propensity to turn into chaos. So I did much more simpler ideas about how to sort of motivate their mental faculties to learn more sciences. I give some examples. If anybody wants to learn from me, I can tell them about you later. So what I normally do is to establish wants and needs. The difference between wants and needs is this, right? You may, just one second, please. You may want a car because you want to get, you may say that you need a car because you want to go from A to B. You really don't want a car because your needs are such as food, air, water, and all these kind of things. This is what you need for survival. You don't want cars when you simply wants to go from A to B. You could go by bicycle, you could walk, you could take a common transport, now that I got my head around it. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. What I normally do is to establish what is it that Africans want, need. What is it that they need? They have to tell me. I don't tell them anything. It is not my job. Because if Africans tells me what they need, they can own it. If I tell them what they need, they will not own it. Because the idea isn't theirs. That's not their need. That's my perception of what they might need. So really, first and foremost, I always try and establish what is it that they need. Of course, if you can establish all the needs, and they will provide the enthusiasm to learn. Because if you look at each and every photograph, they are really happy faces, you know, they really are, you know, they really do want to learn. They want to learn more than the Europeans or the Westerners. You know, they're ever so polite, they're ever so nice. They really do want to learn. So establish their needs from them so that they can own it or own them. Okay, challenges in the classrooms. So what are the challenges? Well, classroom size at government schools are as follows. So A, at a junior school, there are 60 students per class, but on average, there are 73 students per class. At senior school, the number is slightly better. There are 50 students per class. but on average, mostly there are 60 students instead. Class sizes at private school in some nations are slightly better. The average size is about 50 students. That's in private schools. So it's just marginally better, but they're the lucky one because they will be the captains of their industry in time to come, as will become apparent. So the recommended space for each student is 1.2 meters square. And based on some sources, classrooms should be 10 meters by 13 meters. That's 130 meters square. But mostly they're not. Generally, they're not. They're generally either ginormous warehouse where everyone's kind of shoved in, about 300-400 people, or very small where there's 40, 50 people, 50, 60 people in. That's my experience. Compare UK, average of 25 pupils per classroom. That's average, I say. It could be 20, it could be 30, so 25 is a reasonable assumption. I've asked several teachers, by the way. That's how I came to know this number. And all right, let's look at some success stories. I personally have helped nearly 30 students financially from developing nations. One student from Malawi gained an MSc from Taiwan University due to my assistance. And it is this gentleman here. His name is Masuko. He is now proud owner of an MSc. And I will write to him and ask him how his life has changed so that I can inform such a conference again to how we are moving things forward in relation to NoCell, because it is NoCell that's been doing it. I'm just a guy who's enthusiastic about making the world a level playing field for all, you know. And of course, this is our latest recruit. This young lady doesn't know me. I've never met her, but she's been writing to me past about, well, since before COVID. And now I decided to back her actually, because I thought, well, if she can keep writing to me, she must want to desperately get an MSc. So she's studying languages, African languages. And I just got an email that I have to pay her fees. That'll set me back something, well, not me, but now it's the NoCell that's doing it. It'll set NoCell back about £18,000. That's how much it will cost. Okay, donation. Again, I've donated 20.32 centimeter, that's 8 inches, to us imperial unit users, such as myself. Telescope to both Copperbelt University and Chancellor College. The top one, the top photograph, these are the Chancellor College people, these guys here, they're from Chancellor. And these guys, they're on the side, they're from Copperbelt University. So of course, they must have taken it to Nkana. I think that's how they pronounce Nkana, not Nokana, as we would in the West. So they must have took the telescope to that school. Now I'll give you some data, some facts. So, as I said earlier on in April, we held Astroscience Exploration Network conference, to which everyone were invited, including Africans. The only numbers you need to remember, and not the names of the countries, you know, is 26. It's 14 from Global North and 26 from Global South. That's a fancy way of saying developing nations. So you have 14 countries from Global North attended, and 26 countries from Global South attended. And then we had earlier on in the year, in January, Blue Earth Project. Now, Africans weren't invited really, but they found out somehow. And in that case, 19 Global North nation attended and 24 Global South, you know. So, and then we had, I've been running a group for about 8-9 years. It's called Frontiers of Sciences. And of course, this is local, Yorkshire-wide. Yorkshire is a county in where I live, Yorkshire-wide. And you can see that here, the picture is slightly different. There's a 30 nations from Global North and 11 from Global South. What I'm actually trying to say is that they get to find out about these subjects. And so what does this mean? Well, it means, as I already said, that they actually get to find out information they need. They do have access to internet, albeit not always online, because it's intermittent. It's going on and off all the time. And the electricity is never stable anyway. So, but still, their perseverance actually pays off by doing research into what's going on in the West. And of course, the other thing that I should report to you is that these developing nations are really, really keen to get to know or to study more astroscience subject, although they're not really everyone's preference, especially the older generation. This is simply because what the older generation are concerned about is that they want to somehow, how does their daily bread put on the table? You know, where's it going to come, their daily bread? So that's what their concerns are. Their concerns are not or anything to do with spacey subjects, but the younger generation want that kind of education. It is incumbent upon us to actually provide that or make it easier to dispense disseminate such subjects. And of course, the future, we're progressing steadily, of course, especially in East Africa. And there is a proposed meeting on the second ASIN meeting. The ASIN stands for Astro-Science Exploration Network Conference in April 2023. We haven't decided the date for it, but it will be made available. One thing I would like to say is that I don't think I got a slide on that. Oh, I have. We need to build a volunteers register. So you should really, this is the time to act, you know, and now is the time to stand up and be counted. And so please join us. We look forward to hearing from you soon, because they need you. Africa needs you. But if you join us, together we can do it. We really can do it. I believe we can do it. If I believe it, I hope I'm able to infect you with this yearning to make it easier for everybody else. Because if you travel to Africa, generally what would happen is that you're traveling along a road and everyone's on the roadside, but you don't see poverty. You see poverty behind. If you were to stop the car and walk just 10 yards in that direction, 10 yard that in that direction, you will see it really. Like for example, in Zumba, I was walking about on the main road buying my Pepsi Diet Cola every day, and one day I decided to take a right turn, and I ended up in the streets at the back of that main road, and that's when I discovered actually this is true Africa. So we really should be acting together in this, and I think this is my last slide. Thank you very much. I hope I haven't taken too much time. Thank you.